Hello and welcome back to our channel. Today we will talk about how the epic saga of the Yellowstone Dutton Ranch has captured the hearts and imaginations of viewers over the course of a century-long timeline. While the main Yellowstone series focuses on the modern-day challenges facing the Dutton family, its spin-offs 1883 and 1923 take us on a journey back in time to explore the origins and trials of the legendary ranch. Examining the Yellowstone timeline reveals the interconnectedness of these spin-offs with the main series. Viewers can gain a deeper understanding of how the events of 1883 shaped the future of Dutton Ranch and its inhabitants. But beyond its entertainment value, the shared Yellowstone universe highlights the ongoing geopolitical conflicts in American soil rooted in the systematic displacement and erasure of entire indigenous American nations and cultures from their native lands. While the series celebrates the resilience and tenacity of the Dutton family, it also sheds light on the painful history of colonization and its continuing impact on indigenous peoples. 1883. The Yellowstone Dutton Ranch is founded, the first installment of the shared Yellowstone universe. 1883 sheds light on how the ranch came to be. It takes us on a journey from Texas to Montana, where James and Margaret Dutton, played by Tim McGraw and Faith Hill respectively, founded the ranch in 1883. Interestingly, the spot of land on which the ranch was founded was chosen by their daughter Elsa, played by Isabel May, as her own gravesite. However, Duttons were not the only ones who had their eyes on his land. As revealed in season 1 finale of 1883, an indigenous man pointed James towards Paradise Valley and warned him that his people would take the land back from the Duttons in 7 generations. The events of 1883 also touch upon the conflict between the white pioneers and the indigenous American nations that inhabited the land before them. The death of Elsa Dutton was a direct result of this conflict. She was killed by a poisoned Lakota arrow during a skirmish that was caused by a misunderstanding. White settlers, bandits, destroyed an indigenous settlement, leading to a ritualization that claimed Elsa's life. Examining the Yellowstone timeline in conjunction with 1883 can provide a better understanding of the connections between the two series. It also sheds light on the missing details between 1883 and 1923, as well as the future of the Duttons in the main series. While the events of the shared Yellowstone universe highlight the ongoing geopolitical conflicts in America, it also celebrates the tenacity of the Duttons and their contribution to the cattle ranching industry. 1883, a Bass Reeves story. The Yellowstone timeline is expanding to include more historical figures, with 1883 season 2 set to follow the legendary lawman, Bass Reeves instead of the Duttons. Despite the shift in focus, the upcoming season is still part of the Yellowstone universe and continues to explore the history of the American West. David Oyelowo will portray Reeves, a former slave who becomes the first black U.S. Marshal assigned to Indian Territory. His proficiency in several indigenous languages and his impressive record of arresting over 3,000 outlaws during his career made him a respected lawman. Showrunner Taylor Sheridan has not revealed much about the upcoming season apart from it focusing on Reeves' true story. But there are hints that it could still tie in with the Duttons or the Rainwaters from the 1923 timeline, possibly through their ancestors. 1894, Jacob Dutton takes charge of the Yellowstone Ranch. 1894 is a pivotal year in the Yellowstone timeline. Spanning from 1883 to 1923, the pilot episode of 1923 revealed that in 1894, Jacob Dutton, portrayed by Harrison Ford, arrived at the ranch to assume control as requested by his sister-in-law, Margaret Dutton, played by Faith Hill. Following the passing of Margaret and her husband James, Jacob took in their son. In 1923, John and Spencer, played by James Badge Dale and Brandon Sklenar, respectively, are grown men. Jacob's tenure at the ranch proved to be a turning point in the Dutton family's history as he transformed their embattled property into a thriving ranching empire, succeeding where James and Margaret had failed. 1923, Jacob and Cara. Dutton in 1923 season 1, the year 1923 marked a violent chapter in the Yellowstone timeline as Jacob and Cara Dutton struggled to maintain the ranch amidst the turn of the century. Despite consolidating enough power for Jacob to become the livestock commissioner, the Duttons faced challenges from aggressive urbanization and industrialization. Spencer Dutton, the youngest son of the ranch founder, chose to escape his past by hunting in Namibia, Africa, leaving his family to deal with the threats on their own. The 1923 season finale left viewers disappointed by delaying Spencer's return to the ranch. But the upcoming 1923 season 2 promises a Dutton family reunion. The family's future is uncertain as they must deal with the threat of Donald Whitfield and Banner Creighton, attempting to claim Paradise Valley for themselves. In light of the events in the modern Yellowstone timeline, it's clear that the Duttons will face challenges in maintaining their control over the largest ranch in Montana. 1923 remains a suspenseful year in the Yellowstone timeline, as it promises to reveal other important events that occurred from 1883 to 1923. Viewers can expect to witness the Duttons at their darkest, highlighting the tenacity of the ranching industry and the ongoing geopolitical conflicts on American soil that have their roots in the displacement of indigenous American nations and cultures. 1944 is Matthew McCaughey in new Yellowstone spin-off. There have been rumors circulating about Matthew McCaughey's possible involvement in Taylor Sheridan's Yellowstone timeline prequel spin-offs, but Paramount Network has yet to confirm anything. However, according to Tom Prince, the executive vice president of production for 101 Studios, a new prequel spin-off called 1944 is in the works. Prince mentioned this at a Yellowstone event in Montana, where he hinted that the show would be filmed largely in the Bitterroot Valley, which doubles as Paradise Valley in Sheridan's shows, and would take place at Chief Joseph Ranch, the real-life location of the Yellowstone Dutton Ranch. While Paramount has not officially confirmed the existence of 1944, Prince's comments align with Sheridan's plan to end 1923 with its upcoming second season, as well as the rumors of Yellowstone potentially coming to an end soon. 1944 could serve as a bridge between 1923 and Yellowstone by showcasing a younger version of John Dutton's father, played by Dabney Coleman, alongside the older characters from 1923. Regenerate Response 1960s Yellowstone series in early development details about the reported Yellowstone prequel set in the 1960s are scarce, but it is speculated that the series will explore John Dutton's upbringing, as he was born in 1959. It is also possible that the show may reveal when the Yellowstone Dutton Ranch first began branding its cowboys, a detail that has yet to be fully explained in the main series. John Dutton hinted that the tradition began with his father, so the 60s spin-off could shed light on the origins of their practice. However, until an official announcement is made by Paramount, fans will have to wait to see what the future holds for the Yellowstone franchise. 1997, the death of Evelyn Dutton. In one of Yellowstone's Pagan flashbacks, viewers learn the Evelyn Dutton tragically died in 1997 after being crushed by a bucking horse. This heartbreaking event was caused by young Beth Dutton's, Kylie Rogers' inexperience with handling horses, highlighting how childhood trauma can have lasting effects on individuals. Evelyn's tough love for Beth further emphasizes this, as it molded Beth into the tough, ruthless character she is today. Although little is known about Evelyn beyond her strength and the impact of her death on the Dutton family, her character is significant in that her death sets the stage for the events in Yellowstone. Additionally, the flashbacks featuring a younger version of John Dutton, Josh Lucas, occurs around the same time, suggesting that they took place in the 90s or early 2000s. John's mourning for Evelyn after over 2 decades further highlights her importance in his life. 2017, Yellowstone Season 1. The modern timeline of Yellowstone began with the death of Lee Dutton, resulting from territorial disputes between the Yellowstone Dutton Ranch and the neighboring Broken Rock Reservation. Beth Dutton Kelly Rayleigh took charge of the ranch's business dealings and helped John confront Broken Rock chief Thomas Rainwater and Dan Jenkins, a billionaire real estate developer who sought to build a resort town. Meanwhile, Jamie Dutton West Bentley pursued his political career and was subsequently banished from the ranch. And Casey Lou Grimes returned home after living on the reservation with his wife Monica Long Dutton Kelsey Asbel and their son Tate Breckin Merrill. 2018, Yellowstone Seasons 2 to 3. In Yellowstone's second season, the Duttons face a commonly enemy in the form of the Beck brothers Malcolm, Neil McDonough, and Teal Terry Serpico, who were casino owners that had instigated violent attacks against them. When Rainwater and Jenkins formed an alliance, the Beck brother killed Jenkins and abducted Tate, but he was eventually rescued by Casey Dutton, who had become a new livestock officer, and the Montana Livestock Association. Meanwhile, Jamie's betrayal of the family by revealing their private lives to an investigative journalist caused tension, but he later regretted his actions. In an effort to maintain their hold on the ranch, John and Jamie made a deal, and John appointed Jamie as Montana's livestock commissioner, and then as interim attorney general. Casey reluctantly took on John and Jamie's former role as livestock commissioner. Beth and Jamie's rivalry intensified after Beth revealed to John that Jamie had unwittingly caused her sterilization when he accompanied her for an abortion during their teenage years. At the same time, Market Equity CEO Willa Hayes engaged in a power struggle with Beth for legal and financial control over the ranch and its surroundings. The conflict reached its peak when Rourke, Josh Holloway, a Market Equity stockholder, attempted to assassinate every member of the Dutton family. 2019 Yellowstone Season 4. In the aftermath of the attacks of the Duttons, John investigations led him to discover that Rourke was a mastermind behind the assassinations, prompting Rip to kill Rourke with a poisonous snake. Seeking retribution for the assassination attempts, the Duttons unleashed their wrath on their enemies, ultimately tracing the attacks back to Jamie's biological father, Garrett Randall. As Jamie ran for governor against his father and kept his son hidden from the public, Beth blackmailed Jamie into killing Garrett himself, capturing the event on video and plunging Yellowstone into a dark period. In the season 4 finale of Yellowstone, Casey underwent a ritual to become part of his wife Monica's tribe. Alone in the mountains and besieged by spirits, Casey received ominous visions regarding the future of the ranch and his divergent paths. Meanwhile, Beth and Rip cemented their relationship by getting married. 2022 Yellowstone Season 5 Part 1. Yellowstone's 5th season Part 1 picks up in the present timeline with John Dutton becoming the governor of Montana, and Market Equity CEO Caroline Warner, Jackie Weaver, being sent back to New York after losing to the Duttons. In her place, the company is represented by Ellis Steele and Sarah Atwood, who is manipulating Jamie to fight against the Duttons. However, tragedy strikes when Casey and Monica's unborn baby, named John Dutton, dies in a car accident on the way to the hospital. The baby is buried in a traditional indigenous American ceremony at the Dutton Ranch. Governor John Dutton's plan to put the Yellowstone Dutton Ranch in a conservation easement faces a major obstacle, as it's revealed that ranch hands inadvertently killed protected wolves from the national park. This could lead to the state blocking the conservation plan. Meanwhile, Jamie's betrayal of the family threatens to tear them apart as he exposes the train station to Beth and threatens to take them all down. With Sarah Atwood coaxing Jamie into taking action and impeaching John Dutton, the Duttons find themselves in a dangerous game of politics. As rumors circulate about Kevin Costner potentially leaving the show, and with the overarching plot nearing its conclusion, Yellowstone's 5th season Part 1 could be the series' final chapter. 2022 4 6s. In the first half of Yellowstone Season 5, John Dutton became governor of Montana, and the Duttons emerged victorious against Market Equity CEO Caroline Warner. However, Market Equity is still determined to take down the Duttons, and they now have new representatives in Ellis Steele and Sarah Atwood. Tragedy struck when Casey and Monica's baby John Dutton died in a car accident on their way to the hospital, and the Duttons held an indigenous American burial ceremony for him on the ranch. Governor Dutton's plan to conserve the Yellowstone Dutton Ranch could be in jeopardy if the state discovers that the ranch hands killed protected wolves. Meanwhile, Jamie's betrayal threatens to tear the family apart, with Sarah Atwood manipulating him to impeach John Dutton. The season ended with Rip Wheeler taking the Yellowstone herd to Texas and Jimmy settling into life at the 4-6s ranch, setting the stage for the spin-off 4-6s, which will explore ranching traditions in depth. With rumors of the series coming to a close, Yellowstone Season 5 Part 2 is expected to be the show's final chapter, and it will likely feature a convergence of the various storylines. Creator Taylor Sheridan has promised a deep dive into the ranching world in 4-6s, which takes place in modern times on a ranch known for its exceptional horses and cattle. That's it for today's video. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to subscribe and share.